Welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy. This is the we'll have to describe this as the Loamshires scenario. It's a fictional scenario, quite a large fictional scenario. I'm just gonna give some credit to John Sowden. It's his scenario. As it says here, it's fictional. Length is 75 minutes plus or minus 5 minutes. British attack, 31st June 1944. Clear, warm. Wind light from southeast, ground dry. Just over 1,000 meters by 1,000 meters. Let's go through the briefing. Situation: it is now 1400 hours, 16th August. Well, I guess that kind of contradicts what we just read, but anyway. It is now 1400 hours, 16th August. Allied forces are advancing to the east, encountering regular enemy blocking positions based on natural defensive positions. Regular enemy blocking some things based natural defensive positions. Anyway, advances to our north and south look like they will be able to outflank and surround the German division in front of us. The village of Altgarten is a key road hub in this area, and denying it to the enemy will assist with the encirclement. 1st Battalion, the Loamshire Regiment, a British Home Counties regiment with a long and distinguished history, is leading the divisional advance. The weather this afternoon is warm, dry and clear, with a light wind blowing from the southeast. Mission: 1st Battalion, the Loamshire Regiment, will secure the village of Altgarten no later than 15 hours in order to prevent enemy withdrawal. Friendly forces: the Loams are at full strength, however elements of the battalion have been detached to guard and improve a river crossing to the immediate rear. Attached for this operation is most of B Squadron, 1st King's Lancers with their Shermans and a battery of 25-pounders. Enemy forces: in front of us are our old enemies, the Kingdom of Hanover Grenadier Regiment, stiffened by tanks from the Prussian Panzer Regiment. Plan: the Hanoverians will probably use a reverse slope defence of the ridgeline to maximise the use of the terrain, backstopped by a house-to-house defence of the village. Secure dominating terrain in sequence to unhinge their defence and destroy it in detail. Notes: occupy Northern Ridge 150 points, occupy Southern Ridge 150 points, occupy Altgarten 300 points, destroy enemy forces up to 400 points. So obviously, if we look at the tactical map, these two bits of high ground, the Southern Spur, the Northern Ridge, will get us 150, Altgarten 300, with 400 possible for destroying Axis forces. This is a battalion attack, I suppose it's a reinforced battalion. So I will just go on and do the initial setup, then we may resume. Okay, we're back in the actual map. Now this, as you can see, is a pretty huge scenario. It's just next to impossible to get this set up properly. There's not an awful lot of space to position units. I've left most of it as is. I've got two companies that are in this area. I think it's A and B companies I'm going to use to attack across to the Northern Ridge. The first objective will be the spur, the Southern Spur. We'll capture that. In fact, first the objective will be just to get a forward observer into these two areas to bring fire to bear onto these. I'll spend all the, I think there are two 25-pounder batteries. The description, the scenario description is a bit misleading. It's a bit longer. It's a bit, I think it's 2 hours. As you can see, 1 hour 20, so it's 2 hours. What am I saying? 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 20 minutes, so it's 80 minutes in total. I've moved all the armour onto the right simply because it's open ground. It's quite a bit of armour actually. Plus there's one company of infantry which I'll probably use for a flank attack against the woods. But as you can see on the right, it's quite open. So I want to take advantage of that. There's more covered ground here. I might in the end shift some armour onto the left depending on how things work out. but basically it works out into 3 phases. First phase to capture the central hill. Second phase to capture the actual ridge, the northern ridge. In fact, yeah, things are a little bit different from the description, I think. We capture the northern ridge. You can see these icons here, these kind of fortification icons. I think those are, I forget the name, the pre-registered targets for the artillery, so they should come in more quickly. So the second objective will be to capture this northern ridge, and then the final phase will be to attack Altgarden itself, and as part of that, the armour will move up onto this right flank to provide fire into this town. Obviously, in the scenario description, we're told to expect German armour. See if we can get some hold down positions here. That should be really useful. If I can get these fireflies into position to bring fire to bear. So hopefully I will be able to get away with using all the armour on the right, because it will they should be able to get into good hold down positions and make use of the clear ground. So that's the plan. It's a huge map. There's an awful lot of things to coordinate, an awful lot of units to master. I'm not expecting to do all that well in this scenario. For that reason, it's a lot of units to coordinate, and the time duration is quite generous. But even so, when you're moving this number of units, it's 4 companies of infantry plus I think it's 4 platoons or 4 squadrons of tanks. That's a lot to control, and it's gonna take a few hours of gameplay to actually get there. But anyway, there's the setup, there's the plan, and I'll see you for the first turns.